Hey guys, it's Christy and welcome back to the Pop-Up Couch Facebook. How are you tonight? Checking in with you guys on a Thursday night, 8 o'clock or so. How's it going? How are you feeling? How's your week going? Love to hear from you guys. So go ahead and message right on here anytime you want to just jump on. Excuse me. If you have something that you want to say, love to hear it. As always, thank you for tuning in. Love you guys. Let's start with a couple subjects, a couple topics that I have for you. I don't want to keep you too long because I'm sure that you have Netflix and a million other things I'm sure you'd like to get to. But just for a few seconds, let's just talk about, hey Pablo, thanks for tuning in. How are you? Let's talk about something I heard the other day. Are you ready? If you treat your partner the way you treat your clients, your marriage would be doing quite well. Right? If we actually were as invested in our close, intimate relationship as we are with the clients that we deal with on a regular basis in the office or at work, imagine how powerful and happy our marriage or relationship would be. I really, really like that. And the reason I'm bringing this up, and I think I've touched on this before with you guys, there's very few happy couples in the world. I'm just saying that. I know there's a few here and there. I'm sure you know of one or two or so. But the truth is, it's rare to see a couple that's truly happy, right? That's like bringing out the best in each other. It's not something you see often. That's why I'm bringing this up. So the thing is, and here's the reason why I think a lot of couples are not as happy as they could be. I think that in some relationships, there's one person acting as the caregiver or the caretaker, almost. Whereas, almost like they're acting more as the mother or the father or someone other than the partner, who should actually be bringing out the best in the other person and being spontaneous and keeping things interesting and bringing variety to the marriage and stuff like that. I think often you see this back and forth with one person playing the victim, okay, you know who you are, and the other person playing the caretaker or caregiver. And once you do that, once you start falling into that role of the victim, of course, or the caregiver, it definitely takes the spice out of a relationship. I've seen this with my own life. I've seen it with my own parents. I know of course, I know friends of mine. I've even, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. I understand it. I can see how it can happen. And a lot of times when people are in love, I mean, they actually love each other. They unfortunately fall into these roles, which a lot of times will be the demise of the relationship. Because when you go back in time, the general rule is if someone is acting as someone's family member, okay, whether mother, fatherly type figure, they do not want to be intimate with them. That's just how we are by nature. So do yourself a favor. If you're being a caregiver more than you're being a lover to your partner, it's time to stop, okay? And again, if you're playing the victim card with your partner, it's time to stop, okay? You're not the victim. Maybe that was your story before, but it doesn't have to be your story anymore, okay? Like we always say, guys, change your story, okay? Thought I'd share that with you. What else? Oh yeah, and by the way, touching on that one more thing too. Curiosity is the key to desire. I like that. And I couldn't agree more. It's definitely true. I mean, if you're curious and things get, that makes things more exciting. If everything's predictable all the time, there's no excitement there. Let me turn another light on here for you guys. Okay. All right, let's talk about, hey Deirdre, how you doing, girl? Again, relationships. Here's another little key point for relationships, okay? In relationship, there is usually one person who is more afraid to lose themselves, okay? And then there's usually another person who is more afraid to be abandoned by someone, all right? Think about that for a second. And also think about which role you play in relationships. Are you the one who's afraid to lose yourself? Or are you the one who's afraid to be left behind by someone and hurt by someone. I can speak for myself and tell you guys for sure that I've always been the one who was afraid to lose myself in a relationship. Always. But that's because I'm an independent thinker. I'm an independent person. Nothing wrong with not being that way. Just saying that definitely that was always a fear of mine. So as I've mentioned before to you guys, if you fall into the other category of the person who's afraid to be abandoned or be afraid, then it would be probably a good thing to find someone else who's kind of similar in that way. Someone who here's the thing, never go into a relationship because you're afraid of losing someone or something. That's not a healthy thing either. You're always rolling the dice with any relationship. You know that. If you begin a relationship with someone, there's always a chance that it's going to burn out, fizzle out. You could get hurt. You could hurt that person. You also could outgrow each other, which is very common, and I don't hear people talk about this very often. You could totally outgrow someone. Now, hopefully that doesn't happen as often in marriages, because the truth is, with any relationship, you have to have room to grow together and apart. You have to be able to grow on your own and then bring that growth back to the relationship and share with the other person and have the other person excited to hear about the growth and vice versa. If you two aren't allowing each other to breathe or to grow, then it's definitely going to fizzle out faster than it should. And a lot of times you will definitely outgrow each other. Okay? So be aware of that, right? But don't be afraid of getting involved with anyone. If it feels right, then totally go for it. Seriously, guys, don't hold back. Don't be afraid of losing, all right? Because if you're afraid of losing, you're afraid of living. And if you're afraid of living, then what are you doing here, right? So seriously, guys, don't be scared. Just, if it feels right, trust your gut and just go with it. All right, if it fizzles out in 2 weeks, okay, fine. If it fizzles out in 6 months, whatever, but it might not. It might continue to grow and evolve and change. And I wish that for you. I want that for you. Let's talk about attachments for a minute, okay? Here's the thing. I heard this the other day, and I really, really appreciate this whole message here that I'm going to share with you for a second. I was listening to this podcast, and they were talking about kids growing up, okay, with their parents. And there's two different kinds of parents, okay? There's the secure parents and the insecure parents, okay? Here's what I mean by that. The secure parent is the parent that when the child feels like they can lean on them, rely on them, the child feels that that person is solid, and the child also, most importantly, feels like they can leave and explore the world and come back to the parent and know that while they were gone exploring, the mom or dad didn't fall apart. They were stable, okay? They felt solid. Now that's a secure parent. That's a parent that goes, you know what? Here you are. I want you. I can tell that you're curious about the world. Go ahead and explore. I'm encouraging you to go out there, see what's out there for you, see who you are, and when you decide that you're ready to come home, number one, I will be here for you. I'm a solid person. I wish you the best, but I also want you to know that I'm going to be okay while you're gone. I will not be scared or worried about you. I will not be falling apart with my own issues and my own drama. None of that. That's the goal. Okay, guys, for parents. We want to be that parent, don't we? The opposite of that is the insecure parent, okay? Where that parent is constantly anxious, always checking on the kids to, make sure that they're okay. And also the kid always feels like they have to check on that parent to make sure the parent is okay. Like, I don't want to explore too far or be gone too long because you, as my mom or dad, might break down while I'm gone and fall apart. But that's a terrible weight and a heavy burden to place on any child, you guys. So listen, we all have our bad days, we have our struggles, of course, that's all true. But you try not to make it a habit of putting that kind of, try not to make it a habit of putting that kind of pressure on any child. They want to know that you're okay. Listen, if you cry sometimes, it's okay in front of your kids. They have to see you're only human. You have bad days. We all do. We all have those moments where it's like, just give mommy a minute here. Mommy's stressed out just for a second. Just give me a second. I'm going to just get this out of my system. I'm going to pull myself back together, and I'm going to be that strong rock that you need me to be. Period. And encourage your kids to explore. You have to encourage that development, that growth with your child. It's very, very important. And the more you encourage that, and the more you try to hold your own together, okay, especially in front of your kids, if you can, the better they're going to be. All right? And it's just good all around. Think about your childhood, though. Think about if your parents did that. Which one were they? Were they the ones kind of falling apart all the time and you had to go home and check on them? Or were they the parents that were going, just go, go, go. I believe in you. I want you to explore. Just have a good time. I'll be here when you get home. Good question, right? Vulnerability is not a weakness. I know we talked about that the last time I spoke to you guys. But let's see what else I have to... we talked about that already. Hold on just a second. Let me see if I have one more. Clarity is power. Okay, let me just share this with you before I go. What does that mean, Christy? Clarity is power. Here's what it means. The sooner, the better that you get clear about what it is that you want to change in your day, in your life, the better. All right? Get crystal clear with what it is that you want. Whether it's to lose weight, whether it's to move to a nicer neighborhood, whether it's to get a relationship going in your life. Hi, John. Do yourself a favor and get clear about what it is that you are waiting for, looking for, hoping for, working towards, okay? That clarity is power, and like I couldn't send that home quick enough for you guys. That's the truth, all right? So get in touch with that. Remember, you are not a victim, okay? You don't have to be a victim anymore. If you feel like you're a victim in your relationship, at work, with your friends, it doesn't have to continue. You're not the victim, all right? And to be honest, sorry guys, the lighting is a little tough in here. I know that a lot of times you may feel like the victim, all right? But you're not the victim, all right? And think about it for a minute. If you're always the victim, how do your friends and your loved ones and your spouses, how do they feel when you're always the victim? When do they have a chance to be the victim? If you're always the victim, if it's, always raining on your parade, then how's that going to be easy for them? You have to think about it for a minute. You can't always be hurting and down and beat down and sad and depressed. It's a lot to take on for someone else, and it's not healthy for you. So decide today that I'm not going to be the victim anymore. All right? I'm not going to sit here and cry about what my parents did or didn't do. And, I'm sorry, after 20 years old, you really don't have that excuse anymore. You can't blame mom and dad after that. After 20, it's not mom and dad's fault. Mom and dad did the best they could. I'm sure they loved you, and you got to live and learn. And forgive. Who do you need to forgive today? Tonight, I should say, guys. Do yourself a favor before your head hits the pillow tonight. Forgive someone who's wronged you, or who hurt you, or who made you feel less than. Because they're wrong. You're beautiful. And no one should have done that to you. But the sooner you get to a place of forgiveness, the faster you can start growing and get clear about what's next in your life. Okay? Because you have many, many, many things that you're going to accomplish in this world. All right, but the sooner you forgive and move on, the sooner you can start making those accomplishments, real. All right, guys? So I really hope this helps you tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. I will definitely check back in with you. I probably could get back in with you tomorrow, okay? Because I just wanted to hop on here real quick tonight, but I will have some new information for you tomorrow, all right? As always, I study happiness for a living, and if I can do anything to help you guys feel happier, all right, more grateful in your life, it's my pleasure. Remember, the best prayer to say is thank you. Even if you don't believe in God, you don't have to, but whatever it is that you do believe in, remember, thank you, to me, is the best prayer, all right? So don't forget to thank your Creator every day for this beautiful opportunity and the beautiful world we live in, okay? Love you guys. I'll see you soon. Have a great night. Bye.